from humble beginnings to learning from your failures to becoming a great success. What is your success story? Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles. What's your definition of success?
What's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles, and we have Alan Woodum with us today. With the family, goes by Bubba.
That's right.
You want to talk about how we know one another?
Sure. Before I jump into it, I kind of want to turn the tables. Do you remember the year we met?
The year, let me go back.
It's early in the morning for people watching, so I'm putting them on the spot early in the morning.
I remember maybe it was 99. That was my first year that I was at Pete. And I worked with your father.
That's right.
I
thought it was 97 though. I was a young kid.
Yeah, so. my first year in Colorado ISD was 99. So.
Okay, so I was 9.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did you not student teach there or anything?
No, I didn't student teach. It was my first official big boy job. So it was good.
Well, the reason it stuck out in my mind when I met you was because being a 9-year-old kid, not many people respected me that much. And when I met you, you were so respectful and polite to me, and that's why it sticks out in my mind from when I was a young kid. So
that's good.
That's why I remember that, and I know that something I've learned from just being around coaching staffs and sports and stuff is the coaches that respect people the most, they get the most respect back. So
that's good. I agree with that. That is, you're right. I had the pleasure of working with your father. My very first year.
Pleasure?
Yeah. I would say it was a pleasure. That's good. Yeah, I would say it was a pleasure. Learned a lot from him. When he retired, I was there and he was able to say a couple things, about him. And one thing I remember talking about him was, it was awesome to me to see how much of a family man he was, how much that was important. How much he instilled discipline and had expectation for his players. And didn't accept anything less. If I tell you what to do, you do that. But at the same time, teaching them the right way and why, and explaining those things. And so I thought that was. So to me, it was a pleasure, getting to learn from him, and I really enjoyed seeing the fact of, it didn't matter where he was at, you were around. Whatever he was involved in, like we would go scouting and you'd go with us, and so in turn, those are the things, really, to be honest, those are the things that I do with my son, because, I've been able to see, those things, and I think it's important, as far as coaching, you spend so many hours away from home anyway with your job, and if there's any way that you can incorporate family with that, you've got to do that, because, that's the foundation, that's the backbone. There's nothing more important than that quality time with your family. No job, no money, nothing is more important than that quality time. And I thought that was awesome how you guys, how you all was able to spend time with them, practice, game, whatever it was, you're there. And that's pretty good stuff. And I've worked with some coaches that their fathers were coaches as well. It's a great. It's nothing better than like you said, being around quality men. Like those are the best of the best people in the world. Because they're giving their service to help folks. And I want my son around that all the time.
That's right.
Like that's only going to benefit him. And so I thought that was pretty cool. But but then also I always had the pleasure of being one of your coaches as
That's
well.
right, yeah.
And so just a good deal, just a good family, good people, good hardworking folks, and I think it's been awesome.
There's this one time my dad was driving the bus back from a game, and a kid threw something out the window on the back of the bus, and I was sitting in the back of the bus too on the way home. So when we got back to Pete, he ran the whole team and he ran me. He says I was back there part of it, and I was 8 years old.
That's funny. Hey, that's good right there. Hey.
And I was his water boy, and he needed a water boy. And hey, we get somewhere, getting ready for a game. You're 7 years old. Here's 6 water bottles. Go find somewhere to fill them up.
That's good. What do you say? Hey, you were back there. You were part of it too.
I was in trouble too. I had to run.
That's good stuff, man. But that discipline though, the discipline. A lot of people that are not mature enough to handle it, they see discipline as a bad thing. But really, discipline, when you allow yourself to be disciplined, it gives you the freedom on the other end of that to be successful. And so I think that in turn, made you the person that you are. Because I can tell you, our experience from being, one of your coaches. It's a great feeling when you have a player that you can depend on. You tell them, hey, this is your job, this is what you have to do, and it's done. And that's that's the kind of work that you put out. And I can even tell you this, you played at A&M, was in lineman at A&M, and I've had the conversation with Coach Turner, one of your O-line coaches, the same thing, and he said the same thing, exact same thing. Probably one of the most hardest working kids I ever been around. Is what he said. And the same thing. If he had a job to do, you give him that job, and it's done. And I think that's a great thing to have people say that about you. But I think it comes from you having to run the trash day, the discipline. It comes from that.
I never sat in the back of the bus again. I was up at the front.
Just get on the bus first seat. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's mine every time. So you see me.
He knows I didn't throw anything out the window.
That's good. Well, let's talk about your life story a little bit. I know we touched on a couple things, but if you can just kind of detail your life story for us, if you don't mind.
Sure. So, I was born and raised in Conroe, Texas. Both my parents were teachers in CISD. My dad coached in Conroe for 38 years before he retired. So, just to talk about how the way I was raised with my parents and that sort of thing, just to focus on them for a little bit. Both my parents were raised in, basically in poverty.
Yeah.
When they were growing up, they didn't know where the next meal was going to come from. They didn't always know if they were going to have a roof over their head. So, I was fortunate enough to where I didn't have to live in that same condition. I had a much better environment when I was growing up, but I was also fortunate enough to learn, from them and get a lot of the wisdom they got from it. Yeah. So things like, being disciplined and working hard. I was able to take a lot of that from what my parents learned in their past experiences. So particularly work ethic. So most of my life growing up, my dad had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And one of his jobs was mowing places around Conroe.
Yeah.
So every Saturday.
You were there too?
Yeah, I was there mowing too, yeah. I have water bottles just like his games. But so I'm a 10-year-old kid, and I'm sitting on a mower for 10 hours a day, on Saturday mowing, and I learned firsthand about work doing that, and it's I didn't understand it when I was a kid, but now that I'm older, I know that was really developmental, having to work and actually understand, if you want to, make a living and get through in life, you got to be willing to work.
Yeah, you got to
So
get it.
yeah, I got a lot of those traits from basically my parents and the way they raised me, and then of course both of them being educators, they put a really high value on education. Much much higher than a lot of things in life. So over time, I got the same view of knowledge is power, and and education is something you should always strive to achieve and get, and keep learning your whole life, even after you earn a degree, those sorts of things. So who I am, a lot of that was developed through the way I was raised and with my parents. So that's my background as far as how I was raised, and my parents were teachers and that sort of thing. And then the other side of me is sports. I definitely love sports. My dad was a coach. I love playing almost every single sport. He put me in everything he could. When I was a kid, I was right-handed. I'm still right-handed, but he wanted me to pitch left-handed, so he tied my hand behind my back, my right hand, to try and make me use my left hand more and be left-hand dominant, which my mom didn't like too well. It was going to mess with me and my coordination. So, I got placed into all kinds of sports through my dad being a coach, and I was exposed to sports with him coaching. And, I love to compete. That's always fun. The process of competing is fun.
Yeah.
Winning's fun too. It's even better when you win. And so I was always attracted to sports.
And that was one thing that I truly enjoyed. Like, and I could just talk about, our time at Conroe High School. Like, that group of you guys that were there together, you and Fletch and Bishop and, those guys. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys, like, y'all love the process, like you said, of working. Just, it wasn't, you didn't say a lot, just show up every day and get your work done and have fun doing it. Yeah. And that was, we beat some pretty good teams,
It's fun when you show up and get your work done and win football games.
Yeah,
not much drama to it.
Yeah, you just do your job. It wasn't. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Dependable guys doing their job. Being responsible. Not just on the field but off the field as well.
Right. Yeah.
Character guys, taking care of the business in the classroom. It's a puzzle that just fit together very, very nicely.
It was. We all like to hit too.
Y'all were nasty. y'all were pretty nasty guys.
Especially Marcus.
Yeah. He did love to hit. He might say a couple things to you too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, when you're laying on the ground.
Yeah.
He did that to me in freshman year a little bit.
Yeah, that was fun times, man. Good times.
So just circling back on that, I growing up, I was really kind of geeky. I had 4 eyes. My clothes weren't cool. I said yes ma'am, no ma'am. I was respectable. Did my homework. So I wasn't exactly in crowd.
You did say yes. That's a great trait though.
That's gotten me further in life than people that don't say it would think so.
Hey, and it's like I'm the same way with my son. Boy, you better say yes, sir. I hear him, talking to somebody. You better make sure you say, same thing. Like I said, same things.
But for that doesn't equate to being popular at school necessarily, which I was fine with. That's not that wasn't important to me. But my point is, football and sports were an outlet for me to just kind of be who I am and those sort of things. That's kind of why I latched on to football so much, because I remember when I was in 6th grade, you had to stand in line to sign up for athletics, getting ready for Pete and to go to athletics. And, sports aren't a part of school at that point, so kids don't know if you're any good at sports or not. And they figured the asthmatic 4-eyed guy wasn't going to be very good. And I got made fun of for signing up for football. And all summer, I was thinking about those guys that made fun of me. And when we put those pads on, it was on. And that it made me a competitor. It made me like hitting, made me like being physical. So, that's why football is such a big part of my life, because it was an outlet for me. Like other sports too. But
yeah, that's a good thing. It lets you just relax and just be yourself, and you don't have to worry about anything. You just go do your thing. Have your identity, go do your thing. And then one thing too about you, you just, like I said, just dependable. I remember, you as being a young player coming in, just soaking up, all of the knowledge. You could tell like you're just hungry for that knowledge, and you paid attention and you did those things, and you were able to play every position on the line. And that ended up being good for you later.
It did.
Because hey, I'm able to do it. Don't matter, center, guard, tackle. Next week, right guard. It doesn't matter. And didn't make any mistakes. So I mean,
that you remember.
For the show, you didn't make any mistakes. No, you didn't. You're a pretty solid dude on all of that, and so I thought that was pretty awesome, man.
There was one game in my junior year where the first play I started at center. The next play, our left guard got a personal foul, so he had to come out. So I went in at left guard, play number 2. Then play number 3, the right guard gets hurt. On the second play. So on the third play, I was at right guard. So I went center, left guard, right guard, play 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And that actually really helped me a lot. And I'll talk about this, college more in a second. But being able to play all the different spots and know all the different spots, that really helped me a lot. And at A&M when I was playing football there too. So
yeah.
All right. So jump into high school. I was privileged to have Coach Baker as my coach, and really a great football staff my whole 4 years at Conroe High, and basketball too. I really liked my basketball coaches that I had and the staff I had, and great teachers, great experience. I took care of my business in the classroom and on the field, and that allowed me to go to A&M and play football there. And I also majored in industrial engineering, and I got a minor in math and a minor in business.
And you had your options were, I remember we talked about this, Colorado School of Mines and A&M.
Not mines.
Your mines. Yeah, School of Mines.
That's what everybody said. School of Mines. No, it's the mines. They're miners, but.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I remember, I was talking about that. I was like, man, you ever been to A&M game? Like,
I haven't.
Yeah, like, man, that atmosphere is amazing. And when you made the decision to go to A&M, I was, very happy for you because, first of all, to me, I thought you were very deserving of that. I think when you put the work in, when you have people that do things the right way, take care of their business all around, and just work hard, as hard as they can every day, like those people are super deserving of success. And that's what I saw, and I knew that the A&M experience would bring a great experience to you, which it was, and I'll let you finish with that.
Well, just like you were saying, overall great experience. It was a grind at a lot of times. I'm gonna talk more about that later, but just for the people watching, I started off as a walk-on. I was a preferred walk-on, and then by the end of my experience there, I was on scholarship and I was traveling and I was getting to play in quite a few games. So just seeing the perspective of being scout team and then going from the other end to getting to travel and really be a part of the team. I mean, it was just great experience. Made a lot of lifelong friends, a lot of memories. So really thankful I got to be there and be a part of that program.
A lot of cool experiences, ball games. And
oh yeah,
all
2 Cotton Bowls and Independence Bowl, and then the Houston Bowl. So
that's pretty awesome, right there. Somebody to be able to do that thing. A little old boy from Conroe, working on weekend mode. To be able to go do that, man, that's pretty awesome.
And I was, like you said, little old guy for the people watching. I was 3'10", and I'm 6'3", and I was technically little. I mean, 340 would have been a good number. And so
So when you went in, how much did you weigh though?
255.
So yeah, and I remember, just seeing like dude's huge, you know. So 255, and so when you were done, you're 310.
310.
Wow.
310. That's one of the things I miss the most is the food. The food they gave us. That and we had unlimited protein shakes 24/7.
Yeah.
Food. Yeah, I could easily still be 300 pounds if I was still in that program. So
Easy.
I'd be a little more than that by now.
Yeah. So then that's your college, and then you got your degree there was
Industrial engineering, and then I was redshirted in college, so I had 5 years for school there. So I got a couple minors, got a math minor, a business minor.
5 years to eat the good food too.
That's right. I took my time through that.
And so from there, once you got your degree, then let's talk about your career. Let's go into your career. The next question is, what is your career? What do you do?
So I've really kind of bounced around, trying different industries and getting a feel for everything, and trying different companies, and determining what's something I want to work or be around or work on long term. So being an industrial engineer, I got into manufacturing in the oil and gas industry. I tried that out for a couple years. Worked with machinists and welders, and we made frac trailers in Oklahoma. That was a great experience. I learned a ton, but the hours were a little bit crazy. So that, and I was away from home, so I wanted a change. So I became a business analyst for a little bit, and I was doing a lot of analysis on our supply chain, and if we're moving product from point A to point B, what's the cheapest way to do that? So it's typical business analyst stuff. And then now I think I found a good fit, a good home. I work for a software company, and basically what I do in a nutshell, if you're a company, if you're a business and I'm a business, and we want to send in purchase orders and invoices, if we want to send those to each other electronically rather than mailing it or faxing it, we basically connect the two companies electronically.
Okay.
So it's faster and
do
cheaper.
the transactions and all of that stuff.
They just pop into each other's systems back and forth, and there's less data errors. It's faster. It's cheaper. So it's
less hands.
Exactly. Yeah.
To make error. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the Success Chronicles. We'll see you next time. God bless.